Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Good afternoon, my dear students. Welcome to our live lesson for Cultural Oman channel. And as it is clear, today we have the English lesson for grade 10. I hope that you find it practical and useful. Before we start our lesson, dear students, let me tell you that we have these outcomes. The first one, that you will be able to interrupt new vocabulary related to new media. That means you will define or you will find the meaning of a new vocabulary related to new media. And then you will listen to a script and state your answer. You will write down your answer, okay? And then you will select phrases that can be used for making suggestions. So first we will do some suggestions and then we will move on to expressing your opinion. طبعا before we start our lesson, dear students, let me remind you of the previous lessons that you have covered before. The first one was the reading and the next one was grammar and vocabulary, where you took the comparative and superlative, also the phrasal verbs. Okay? Now we have some important notes that I need you to focus on, that I need you to bring up your materials, the books and a pen. And also I want you to raise up the volume to be ready for the listening tasks, as I need you to take screenshot of these slides and study them after the lesson. You can write them down in your notebook, okay? So let's say Bismillah and let's start our lesson with some vocabulary. طبعا in this lesson you are going, as it is clear here, that we are in class book at page 6, okay? And at the first task you have vocabulary. So what you are going to do, my dear students, you are going to read these words and then try to use your dictionaries, try to ask someone or to look at electronic dictionaries as well, okay, to find out the meaning of these words. Let me read them for you. First one is journalism. The second one is digital age, reporter, source, fake news, disappear, social media, newspaper, and trust, okay? I will explain most of these vocabulary except for social media, because it is the title of the unit, and you know that social media is different platforms that we use to be connected to the world, okay? And a newspaper, I believe that it is a very easy word for you. Okay, let's start with the first one, journalism. Journalism, I want you to repeat after me while I'm reading. Journalism is a noun, and it means, as you are looking up at this picture, it is the activity or job of writing news reports for newspaper, magazine, television, or radio, okay? It's like a job, and it's like writing some news where people, whenever they have a news, they write them down, okay? They write them down and they write reports, okay? And the person who works in journalism is, we call it journalist. The person who works in journalism, we call it journalist, okay? I have here example. The hospital has been the target of investigative journalism, okay? I hope that you got the meaning of the first word. Let's move on to the second one. The second one, it is a digital age, and it is again a noun, and it means that in present time, as now, okay, most of people use information in numbers form. They don't use like books, they don't use magazines, they just use what? Numbers, electronic things, as you can see here in this picture, okay? And an example for this word, in the digital age, many people are addicted to smartphones. Smartphones is an obvious example for digital age, okay? Okay. So now we have the word reporter. Reporter, it is a noun again, and it is a person who reports, who tells news or conducts interviews, who do interviews, as it is clear here in this picture. This person, we call it a reporter, okay, who came up on the television and tell others news, okay. The example is a television reporter should have good presenting skills. Not anyone can be a reporter. Special people who have good presenting skills can be a reporter. Okay. And now we have this word. It is source. Source. And source is a noun which means a thing or a place or activity that supplies you, that gives you information, okay? The place that you go to have information. As an example, look here at the example. It is important to read the news from trusted sources. Don't go to Uncle Google and try to search for information. Go to, for example, academic websites and take the information from there, okay? I forget to tell you that you should take screenshot of the words with the meaning, okay? To write them down in your notebook after the lesson. And here we have this new word. It is fake news. Fake news, again, it's a noun, and it is telling others false information. Like, for example, here at this picture, okay? This picture, it's like about fairy tale that happened in the past, where a young boy who kept telling others lies and his nose got bigger and bigger. So when you tell a lie, this is a fairy tale. When you tell a lie, okay, your nose will get bigger and bigger. This is, we call it fake news or unreal news. As an example for this, it is impossible to stop fake news on social media, which means that social media is full of fake news. Okay, sorry. And here we have disappear. Disappear. Disappear is a verb that means to stop being seen. I cannot see you anymore, okay? This is, we call it disappear. Look here at this picture where this man started to vanish, started to stop being seen, okay? Like, for example, look here at this example, COVID-19, which means coronavirus, will disappear, inshallah, after we have the vaccine, inshallah, finger crossed. That means vaccine, the treatment or medicine. When we have it, COVID-19 will disappear. Okay, and here we have a new word, trust. Trust can be a verb and it can be a noun as well. Trust means that to have confidence, to have hope on someone or something. For example, you have a close friend, that means you trust him, you tell him or tell her your secrets. Like here in this picture, this man trusts his friend, that's why he is giving him a key, okay? And the example says that you shouldn't put your trust in a strange person. That means you cannot tell your secrets for a strange person, okay? And this noun, it can be a verb to trust someone, and it is a noun as well. Yes, so I believe that this is the end of the vocabulary that we covered, and to examine your understanding for the vocabulary, I need you to practice, okay, by using website quizzes. I want you all please to open quizzes.com/join, open Uncle Google and try to write quizzes.com/join. Okay, and then you will have to enter the code in order to answer the game. Let's start it. Do you know how to open quizzes website? First, open the website, quizzes.com, and then enter the code. I believe that we don't. It's not connected. Okay, it seems that we have some problems with the network. So inshallah, if we have plenty of time, we will return back to this task, okay? In case you are in a hurry, okay? I would like you to take now a screenshot of this slide and you will enter the link, okay? And then try to answer. This is another task for the vocabulary. If you have any further questions about the vocabulary, I need you to go back to your teachers. They will be glad to help you, okay? Take a screenshot of this slide, please. I believe that we are now done with the vocabulary. Now we will move on to discuss the second skill that we have today, which is the listening. Before we start our listening, there are some tips, okay, for a better listening. First, you must read the questions before you listen. That means if you have a question, okay, start reading it before listening. And then you should underline the key words. You have some important words in the question. That means you should underline them or circle them in order to return back to them while you are listening, okay? And I want you, when you listen, I want you to prepare yourself for the listening. That means you sit, you open the page, you open the task, and to make sure that you are on the correct place. At the end, I want you, the way you listen depends on the type of question that you have. That means there are some different questions for listening. For example, some of them are multiple choice, some of them yes or no, true or false, short answers. So your listening, the way you listen, it depends on the question that you have. And inshallah, in this lesson, we have 3 different types of listening. Let's start with the first one. Sorry. Yes. Here we have the first task of listening. I would like you all please to open your class book at page 6, task number 2, please. I will give you time to open your class book at page 6, task number 2. Okay. You have here to listen and answer. I will read the structure. Try to read it with me. Listen to an interview with a journalist. A journalist is a person who what? Tell others news or write reports about the future of journalism. Read the statements from 1 to 6 and try to decide whether the sentence is true or false. Let's read the sentences or the statements together. According to Dr. David, first one, journalism is faster than social media at reporting news, okay? So we have the word faster than social media at reporting news. There are some keywords that you should listen to them. Number 2, anyone can be a journalist. Is this true or false? 3, social media is not a trusted source of news. Again, is this true or false? Number 4, printed newspaper will disappear soon. Will it stop in the future or not? The number of people reading electronic versions of newspaper is increasing. What do you mean by increasing? It's getting up, okay? So is this true or false? And number 6, there is no need for journalists to develop their technological skills. Again, is this true or false? Do they need, the journalists, those people who work in newspaper and magazines, do they need to develop their technological skills? I mean by that, using computers and so on. So, is this true or false? I want you now to listen and to, first, you will listen and to write answers. The second time, you will listen and check your answers.
Listening 1.3. Hi, and welcome to the show. Our guest today is Dr. David, a professor of journalism. Thank you for joining us, Dr. David.
Thank you very much for having me.
So, Dr. David, do you think that in the digital age, social media is replacing traditional journalism? Or can the two exist together?
Well, social media is having a huge impact on the world of journalism. Social media is often faster than journalism at spreading breaking news. However, I don't think it will ever completely replace traditional forms of journalism. And of course, there is the problem of fake news.
That's true. Some people claim that today, anyone can be a journalist. You just need a smartphone and to be in the right place at the right time. As a professional journalist, what's your opinion about this? Can anyone be a journalist?
Well, I believe that it's not as simple as that. We should remember that journalism is not only filming or writing about events. It is important to research and report on issues in depth and consider important questions around a topic such as, why do these things happen? Who is involved? What is the context of these events?
So what do you think about claims that newspapers will disappear in the near future?
You are right to some extent. Sales of printed newspapers are going down. But at the same time, the popularity of online newspapers is growing, and growing fast.
Interesting. Why do you think that is?
Well, we're living in a digital age, and people want digital versions of materials that, traditionally, were always printed. For example, books, magazines, and newspapers. As a consequence, most newspapers are now available to read online. Journalists can add audio, images, and videos to enhance their reports.
So my final question is, what do journalists need to do in order to cope with these changes and compete with social media?
Actually, there are many things they can do. Firstly, journalists need to develop their technological skills by keeping up with developments and trends in digital media. Secondly, they need to think about how to integrate audio and video into their reports to make them more engaging. Finally, they need to learn how to use social media to support their reporting.
That's all we have time for today. Thank you very much, Dr. David.
Okay, so this is the end of the listening. I want you to listen again and now check your answers.
Listening 1.3. Hi, and welcome to the show. Our guest today is Dr. David, a professor of journalism. Thank you for joining us, Dr. David.
Thank you very much for having me.
So, Dr. David, do you think that in the digital age, social media is replacing traditional journalism? Or can the two exist together?
Well, social media is having a huge impact on the world of journalism. Social media is often faster than journalism at spreading breaking news. However, I don't think it will ever completely replace traditional forms of journalism. And of course, there is the problem of fake news.
That's true. Some people claim that today anyone can be a journalist. You just need a smartphone and to be in the right place at the right time. As a professional journalist, what's your opinion about this? Can anyone be a journalist?
Well, I believe that it's not as simple as that. We should remember that journalism is not only filming or writing about events. It is important to research and report on issues in depth and consider important questions around a topic such as, why do these things happen? Who is involved? What is the context of these events?
So what do you think about claims that newspapers will disappear in the near future?
You are right to some extent. Sales of printed newspapers are going down. But at the same time, the popularity of online newspapers is growing, and growing fast.
Interesting. Why do you think that is?
Well, we're living in a digital age, and people want digital versions of materials that, traditionally, were always printed. For example, books, magazines, and newspapers. As a consequence, most newspapers are now available to read online. Journalists can add audio, images, and videos to enhance their reports.
So my final question is, what do journalists need to do in order to cope with these changes and compete with social media?
Actually, there are many things they can do. Firstly, journalists need to develop their technological skills by keeping up with developments and trends in digital media. Secondly, they need to think about how to integrate audio and video into their reports to make them more engaging. Finally, they need to learn how to use social media to support their reporting.
That's all we have time for today. Thank you very much, Dr. David.
Okay, so this is the end of the listening. Now let's check the answers together, my dear students, and here we have them ready. The first one, journalism is faster than social media, and it is false, okay? Social media is faster. Anyone can be a journalist, and this is again false. Social media is not a trusted source of news, and this is true, okay? Printed newspapers will disappear soon, and this is false. The number of people reading electronic versions of newspaper is increasing, and this is true. Now people depend on electronic versions, okay? There is no need for journalists to develop their technological skills, and this is false. They need to, okay? Now let's move on quickly to the second listening task, and it is a very short task, okay? Again, at the same page 6 in your class book, task number 3. At the end of the paper, you have task number 3. Now, the way you will listen now, it's totally different than the previous one. The way you listen now, it's you are going to what? To understand or to read this bar chart, okay? To understand it, and then to listen and see which one is the correct one. Let's look at the first one. We have here, if you noticed, look at your books, the number of newspapers sold, the newspaper, the books. And here, which means the bars. طبعا number of newspaper is the blue bars, while the number of people reading online is the line graph, okay? So here it shows that the Number of papers is decreasing, while the number of people who are reading online is kind of stable. Number 2, again, you have number of newspaper, and here you have the line graph of reading online. The third one, you have here the newspaper, the number of newspapers sold, and here you have the line graph of online reading, and it is decreasing. You are going now to listen and decide which one is the correct one. It is a very short listening. Be careful.
Listening 1.4.
You are right to some extent. Sales of printed newspapers are going down, but at the same time, the popularity of online newspapers is growing, and growing fast.
Again, you will listen again. I told you it's a short one.
Listening 1.4.
You are right to some extent. Sales of printed newspapers are going down, but at the same time, the popularity of online newspapers is growing, and growing fast.
Okay, so this is the end of the listening. Now let's see which one is the correct one. Look, B is the correct answer. It said in the listening that the number of newspapers sold is decreasing, while the number of reading online is increasing, going up. Okay? And the last listening task, we have it in your skills book at page 6. I want you all, please, to open your skills book, page 6, task number 3. طبعا, task number 1 and task number 2 are cancelled, both of them. Okay, so we have here this listening. You are going to listen to the podcast again. طبعا, we have a person who is talking on radio. His name is Mo, and he is talking on radio. You are going now, and this time you will listen for multiple choice, and multiple choice is much easier than the other questions because you will find the answer in one of the choices you have here. Okay, so let's read them first. The podcast is about social media. Is it about the history, being successful on, or the disadvantages, the bad points of social media? Number 2, Mo's first piece of advice. طبعا Mo is a name of a person. He gave an advice to people by saying what? Create content you love. Promote yourself, that means you develop yourself, or thinking before you post. Okay? And number 3, according to Mo, you should choose a social media platform, a program based on. Is it based on the content, the subject that you want to post, or it's about the skills and abilities that you have, or it's about audience, the people around you? Okay? Listen and check. The last one, Mo does not recommend, okay? He doesn't like commenting on posts. I believe that you know what's the meaning of comment. Participating in forums, or buying followers. Okay? Now, I need you to listen. You will listen just only for one time, okay?
Listening 1.8.
Hi everyone, it's Mo here. Welcome to Mo's Social Media Success Podcast. Today I am going to be talking about how to be successful on social media. If you don't know me, I post travel videos on my YouTube channel, and I have about 120,000 followers. If you would like to build a big social media audience, I am going to give you some tips. My first piece of advice is to focus on creating content that you really love. When you are passionate about the things you post, your followers will feel this. To be successful, you have to create value for your followers, and you can't do that if you're not that interested in your content. I love to travel and explore new places, and I think that shows in my videos. My second piece of advice is to think about what kind of content you want to create and which social media platform best suits your content. For example, if you are like me and you want to make videos, YouTube is probably the best option. If you prefer photography, then you should focus on Instagram. Or if you prefer writing, then maybe a blog would be better for you. Another important piece of advice is to think before you post. When you post something online, it will be there forever. So do not post anything you might regret. This is especially important when people leave negative comments. It can be difficult to deal with, but it is better not to respond negatively. My final piece of advice is that if you are serious about being successful on social media, you need to promote yourself. Some people buy social media followers, but I don't recommend doing this. It's important to connect with people who have the same interests. You can do this by commenting on other people's posts and participating in forums. Well, that's the end of today's podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out my YouTube channel.
Okay, so this is the end of the listening. Now let's check the answers together. Here we have them. The first one, the podcast is about being successful on social media. I believe that you all scored the correct answer. Mo's first piece of advice is to create content you love. According to Mo, you should choose a social media platform based on your content, on the subject that you love. Mo does not recommend buying followers as a way to promote yourself. I said that promoting yourself means to develop yourself, to be a better person, okay? So I believe that this is the end of the listening task that we have. Now let's move on quickly to the last part of our lesson for today, and it is the speaking. In speaking, we have two different parts. We have how to express your opinion, okay? And the other one, how to make suggestions. Let's start with expressing opinion. You will find it in your class book at page 7. Okay, you will find this picture and it's about expressing opinion. That means look here at this group of students. They are together and each one giving his idea about a topic, a certain topic, okay? I have divided these agreeing and disagreeing into this table. We have it here. First, you will learn how to state your opinion, how to tell others about your opinion. And the second one, you will learn or you will check the phrases that you should use to agree to opinion. I mean by agreeing that you are positive about it. And the third one, disagree to opinion, okay? The fourth one is how to give examples, okay? And the last one, how to give reasons why. The first one, how to state your opinion, how to tell others about your opinion by saying personally, I think, and then you will complete it. Or you can say, I believe that. Okay? The third one, to be more academic, you can say, in my point of view. This one you can use it while you are writing. And the last one, in my opinion. These are 4 different ways you can express your opinion. Okay? Also, it's not just these 4. You can create your own to express your opinion, to tell others about your opinion. I want you to take screenshots of this slide and try to write these phrases down in your notebook. Okay? And if you have a topic, okay, and someone said his opinion and you are agreeing to what he said, okay, you say that what he said is true, you can say, I agree, or you can say, I have the same opinion, or you can say, you are exactly right. These are 3 different examples to agree to someone's opinion. Again, take a screenshot of this slide and write them down. But if you are disagreeing to someone's opinion, you should be polite. Don't say no. No, you should say, I'm sorry, but I do not agree. Try to be polite. Also, you can say, I see what you are saying, but I have another point of view. Number 3, you can say, that's true, but, or number 4, you can say, I understand that, or I understand what you are saying, but, okay, and you complete it with your disagreeing opinion. Try to be polite when you disagree to someone. Okay? This is about disagreeing. It's definitely when you are trying to state your opinions, try to give examples, why, to convince others about your opinion. Try to give them more details by saying, for example, when you state your opinion, you can say, for example, and then you complete it. Or you can say, for instance, or you can say, one example of this is, and then try to complete it. Okay? Is that clear? I believe it is. And now I need you again to take a screenshot, and let's move on to, let's move on to the last point of expressing opinion. It is to give reasons. If you stated your opinion or you told others about your opinion, try to, as I said previously, try to convince them by giving them reasons, okay, to make your opinion much stronger by saying, I think this happened because of blah, 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 okay? Or you can say, the reason for this, and then you complete it. And also you can say, this happened due to, and due to, it means again, because, but in other words, okay? Here I have example for all of the things that we have discussed now about expressing opinion. You have the topic, online learning is easy. Now this is what's happening now, right? So this is the topic, and now you are stating your opinion, you are telling your opinion. For example, you say, in my point of view, online learning is practical and easy, yet it depends on students themselves if they are willing to learn or not. So this sentence stating the opinion by saying, in my point of view, you will tell others what do you think of online learning. If you are agreeing to online learning, you will say, you are exactly right. And if you are disagreeing to online learning, then you shall say, I see what you are saying, but not all students are able to use online materials. Okay? This is a very polite way to disagree to someone's opinion by saying, I see what you are saying, but. Okay? If you want to give example, more elaboration for online learning, you can say, for instance, some of them, especially young learner, they cannot deal with the portal. They need someone to guide them. Okay? So this example is giving more elaboration for disagreeing to the opinion. And if you want another example for giving a reason, you can say online learning is easy because you can sit in a very comfortable and quiet environment. Furthermore, you can take your time learning the lessons. You have unlimited time. Okay, so this reason is what is agreeing to the opinion. Okay, is giving like evidence why is online learning is easy. I hope that you understood how to express your opinion, and I have here a practice. You shall do it with your friends. Okay? You need to practice how to express your opinion by contacting one of your friends. Okay? You can call one of your friends and try to discuss this topic with your friend. Online learning is your only way to be safe. Okay? Try to take a screenshot of the topic and try to discuss this topic with your friend. At the last part of our lesson, it is about making suggestions, and it is in your skills book at page 7. Okay? You will find this table there about making suggestions. I have here a short video, and it is about making suggestions. After the video, you will understand the meaning of suggestions.
Here we are again at Tip Top Trading, where Anna's interview for a sales job has been suddenly interrupted. Office assistant Denise has entered the room, looking very worried. What's wrong? And will Anna have any suggestions that might help?
I don't know what to do.
So what's the matter, Denise?
You know the PowerPoint presentation?
The one we've been preparing for the last 2 months?
Yes.
The one that's very, very important and that we need this afternoon?
That one.
Uh-huh.
We've lost everything.
No!
I had it on a USB stick to transfer it, but the stick has vanished.
Right, Anna. Now is your chance to help them find solutions to the problem. You'll need phrases like, "Can I make a suggestion? Why don't you? Have you tried? Maybe we could. How about? I have an idea."
But don't you have it saved on your computer?
No, it was taking up a lot of space, so I deleted it.
So you have lost the only copy we have?
Yes.
What idiots. I've never seen such a disorganized office. Go on, you'd better help them, Anna.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes, please do.
Why don't you try looking in your recycle bin? It might still be there.
I did. It isn't.
Have you tried asking your colleagues if they've seen the memory stick?
I did. They haven't.
How about looking through your rubbish bin to see if you threw it away by mistake?
I don't do silly things like that.
Sorry, dear students, I had to close the video. You just checked some phrases of how to make suggestions. Let's discuss them here. طبعا from the video you understood that making suggestions means that what you are giving some ideas to the others. Okay? And again, about making suggestions, that means you know how to make suggestions, agreeing to them and disagreeing to them. Making suggestions, you will find it clearly stated in your skills book on page 7. How, what about, let's, perhaps, maybe we can, you or we could, why don't you, and we should. Okay, this is how to make a suggestion. Don't state your suggestion directly. You should first use one of these phrases. Okay, And if you are agreeing to a suggestion, you should say, that sounds great. I think it's a great idea. That's an excellent idea. Good thinking. Yes, I suppose you are right. Okay, what do you suggest? Okay, these are some of the some phrases you can use them to agree to suggestion. You will find them again in your skills book. And the last one is disagreeing to suggestion by saying, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think so. I'm not sure about it. How about something instead of something else? Okay? And here we have example for making suggestion. You can say suggestion, maybe we can create YouTube channel in order to post our school projects. Okay? This is a suggestion for online learning. If you are agreeing, you will say, that sounds great. If you are disagreeing, you will say, how about using Instagram instead of YouTube? Okay? So I believe that this is the end of our lesson, and as a revision, we covered in this lesson some vocabulary related to new media. We covered listening in 3 different types. Also, we covered the speaking about how to express your opinion and how to make suggestion. Okay? So this is the end of our lesson. I hope that you find it practical and useful. If you have any further question, you can ask your teachers, okay, in regarding of this, and they will be glad to help you. Also, inshallah, in the coming lesson, you will have the last skill in this theme, which is writing, how to write charts. Okay? Try to prepare for it from now. And that's it, my dear students. Okay? Please, I want you to focus on your study and try to study hard using online learning, using different materials to study. And don't forget that Corona is outside. Please stay home, stay safe. This is the end. Thank you for listening.